Today, I'm going to share everything that's on my Mac, from the simplest apps I use every day to more complex ones that rely on artificial intelligence. I'm also going to include some web apps, which I honestly believe make up the majority of what we use on our computers these days. And in case you're curious about which Mac I'm currently using, I have a few other videos here on the channel where I talk about that. But over the past few months, I've been switching quite a bit between the Mac Mini M4 and the MacBook Pro, also with the M4 chip. So starting off with an app that helps me every single day on my Mac. In fact, I typed, or actually spoke, this entire script using it, Whisperflow. It's basically an AI-powered audio to text transcriber. So I press the shortcut I set up, it starts listening, and I just start talking, and it turns everything I say into text. So instead of spending hours typing in front of a computer, I just speak and it transcribes everything for me. And the coolest part is that it uses AI to better understand not only what I'm saying, but also the context. So the result comes out basically just like I speak. And speaking of writing, the app, or actually the web app I use every day to write scripts and pretty much everything else, is Google Docs. I still find it really hard to come across another platform as good and full of features as Google Docs. Not to mention, it's just perfect for sharing docs with other people. Still on the topic of text and AI assistants, ChatGPT had to be on this list. I use ChatGPT every day. It helps me write better emails, review my scripts, and even plan out trips. I don't think I need to explain much here. You probably already know it, but yes, I use ChatGPT all the time. Now, one utility I think is essential on any Mac is amphetamine. It's a small, lightweight app you can get from the App Store, and it keeps your Mac from going to sleep. So let's say I'm recording a video just like this one, and I want the screen to stay on, showing the screensaver. By default, the Mac would turn the display off, but with amphetamine running, it stays on as long as I need. Sure, you could go into system settings and change that manually, but it's annoying to do that over and over again. With amphetamine, I just click a button and that's it. So if there's something you're doing where your Mac shouldn't sleep or hibernate, amphetamine will help with that. I've been using this app for years. It's free and works really well. Quickly going through some basics, I use the native macOS calendar a lot, messages too, and I also use WhatsApp because I talk with a lot of friends and my friends and family in Brazil, so I use that every single day. As for music, I've switched back to Spotify. I used Apple Music for a long time, years actually, but recently I went back to Spotify. I know this is a hot debate, right? Some people are hardcore Apple Music fans, and I've always liked it too, but there's one thing Spotify just does better than anyone else, which is music recommendations. So for example, sometimes I'll create a playlist, add a few songs, and let Spotify recommend the rest and just let it play for hours. And seriously, it's impressive. Their recommendation engine is just really, really good. I end up creating way longer playlists by adding all the songs it suggests. So yeah, no regrets switching back to Spotify after all these years. Now, for task management, I've been using an app called Todoist for many years. I've thought about switching a few times, maybe to Apple's native reminders or even Google Tasks, and there are others like TickTick, which is really good too, but I always end up sticking with my good old Todoist. That's where I manage all my tasks and bills. It supports natural language, so when you add something like call Pedro tomorrow at 10 a.m., it automatically understands the day and time and adds the task accordingly. Anyway, I have a few other videos on the channel about this app. I don't even remember exactly, but I've been using it for almost 10 years. It's just that good. Now, the new macOS Tahoe, finally added something that was missing for a long time: a better clipboard manager. So now when you copy and paste, there's a history of what you've copied. Even so, I still use an app called Paste, which does that, but it's a lot better. Sometimes I copy a bunch of items and need to paste them somewhere in the same order, and with Paste, that's super easy to do. I've shown it on the channel a bunch of times. You can download it using the Setup platform from MacPaw, a partner here on the channel who also make Clean My Mac, another app I use to keep my Mac clean and clutter-free. But Paste is definitely a must-have. The link's in the description as well. Now let's talk about one of the most important apps I use on my Mac, Alfred. It lets you automate a ton of stuff. It works kind of like Spotlight, but way more powerful. Actually, macOS Tahoe added some improvements to Spotlight to try and catch up, but Alfred has been doing that for ages. And honestly, I can't live without it. I have several workflows set up, like automating project creation every time I start a new video, moving files, setting things up for editing. It's amazing. If you don't know Alfred, definitely check it out. It's seriously one of the most essential apps on my Mac. Back to utilities, another one I use a lot is CleanShot, also included in the Setup subscription. Basically, everything you wish your Mac did when taking screenshots or screen recordings, CleanShot does it. It's one of those apps where you go, how did I ever live without this? Now, when it comes to editing photos and videos, I'm still kind of stuck with Adobe. I use Photoshop for a lot of thumbnails and other design work. Over the years, I've managed to move away from Adobe quite a bit, but I still rely on it for several things related to the channel. For video editing, I've been using Final Cut for years. I've tried many editors, but on macOS, I've stuck with it. It's super fast and efficient. And even though it's pricey, I bought it about 10 years ago and never had to pay a subscription, so I really like it. I've tried DaVinci Resolve, but right now for YouTube, I'm still using Final Cut. Another utility, and this one's for anyone who has a mouse or peripheral that isn't supported on macOS, it's called Steer Mouse. Pedro uses it a lot. He has a Razer mouse, the Razer Hyperspeed, which is kind of like the Razer Naga or Naga Trinity. The thing is that Razer stopped supporting macOS a while ago, which left a lot of people hanging, especially those using their mice for productivity, not gaming. So Pedro found this app a few years back. He paid once, I think it was like $5, and now his mouse works perfectly. So if you're facing that issue, give this app a try. It'll probably solve your problem too. Now, onto backups and file management. A few years ago, we stopped paying for Dropbox and other services and moved everything to our own server at home from Synology. On the Mac, we use the Synology Drive app. It lets us sync files between our computers and the server, and also back up all our machines. Even our iPhones sync photos to it. So if you don't want to pay for iCloud storage and prefer to keep your files locally, we always recommend that people consider moving to their own server eventually. To help manage your files better, I highly recommend Hazel. It's a simple but powerful app. You tell it which folders to monitor, and whenever something happens in there, it runs an action. So for example, if you download a lot of files and want every PDF with a specific word to be moved from the downloads folder to another location, Hazel does that. We use it like this all the time. When I download an invoice, Hazel sees it's a PDF, checks that it has words like invoice, and moves it straight to my invoices folder. This way, nothing gets lost or messy, because let's be honest, no matter how organized you are, you're going to forget to move a file at some point. Downloads and desktop are usually the two messiest folders on most people's computers. Back to web apps, a productivity service I use a lot to keep things organized for the channel is Notion. I think most of you probably already know it. We use it to plan videos, track the production calendar, post content, and manage partnerships. It's a robust, easy-to-use platform and free up to a point. And to connect Notion with other services I use, I rely on an automation tool called N8N. With it, I've been able to automate tasks that would normally take hours. Seriously. Some things I don't even worry about anymore. For example, I automated some parts of publishing videos, including AI-generated thumbnails, analyzing the script, and even helping me write titles. I use N8N for a lot of things. There's tons of content about it here on YouTube, so if you do something every day that's already become second nature, stop and think for a second. Maybe you're missing a chance to automate it and stop wasting your time. And to wrap things up, here's a quick macOS tip. This tip is kind of becoming obsolete now because macOS Tahoe will let you do most of this natively, but I'll still show you how I change folder and file icons on my Mac. As you can see, I have a desktop folder with a little cat icon. That's where I save all the videos where my cats pop in while I'm recording. And there's no mystery here. I use ChatGPT to make the icons. It's super simple. So right-click on the folder or file, go to Get Info, click on the icon at the top left, and press Command-C. Then open Preview, press Command-N, and it'll open a new file with the image you copied. Save that to your desktop, then ask ChatGPT to make an icon just like that, but with the changes you want. Always ask for a PNG with a transparent background. And that's it. You can see my prompt on your screen. So once you get your first one working, just keep going and try new ideas. I use this to keep things visually organized, and now with macOS Tahoe, you will also be able to change folder colors and add icons natively, but this method is way more customizable. I love it, and I think it looks really cute. So that was a full tour of all the apps and services I use on my Mac. Hope you enjoyed it. If there's any app that you use every day that you think I'd love, leave it in the comments so I can try it out. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.